Sometimes musicians express pain so vividly that they're blamed for urging their listeners to self-harm, like the grieving parents of James Vance and Raymond Belknap claimed in their 1985 lawsuit against the heavy metal band Judas Priest. If music truly evokes emotion, then certainly a mournful song could potentially bring out someone's suicidal tendencies, couldn't it? But surely the dismissal of this court case against Judas Priest proved no song could make someone suicidal. Well, except for one.
Szomorú vasárnap 100 fehér virággal, vártalak, kedvesem, templomi imádon. Álmokat kergető vasárnap délelőtt, bánatom hintaja nélküle visszajön. Azóta szomorú mindig a vasárnap, könny csak az italom, kenyerem a
In 1932, Hungarian composer Rezsó Seress, born Rudolf or Rudi Spitzer, and Hungarian lyricist Lázló Javór wrote a song together. At that time, the song was entitled Vége a Vlágnak, Hungarian for End of the World. No accounts of the songwriting session by contemporary witnesses exist, as neither man was famous at the time of its writing, but present-day sources gave a few details. Like the song was written on a Sunday. One of the men suffered a devastating breakup the day before. There was a loud thunderstorm for the entirety of the songwriting session, and some sources claim both writers intended for their composition to be a love song. Others claim Seress wrote political song lyrics first, and Javór replaced them with romantic lyrics he believed better suited the melancholy melody. In 1934, the song was re-recorded by Hungarian pop singer Pál Kalmár. It was released under the title Szomorú Vasárnap, Hungarian for Gloomy Sunday. According to law, this is when the suicides that gave the song the nickname the Hungarian Suicide Song began. In Vienna, a teenage girl deliberately drowned herself while holding the sheet music for Gloomy Sunday. A Budapest shopkeeper kept the lyrics of Gloomy Sunday as his suicide note. A woman in London deliberately overdosed while listening to a record of Gloomy Sunday. Seress's girlfriend leapt out of a window, and her suicide note simply read, Gloomy Sunday. Of course, not all of these cases have been verified, but there are almost 100 suicides that can be linked back to this song. Nonetheless, the song's macabre notoriety brought it to the attention of an international audience when songwriter Ray M. Lewis translated the song into English in 1936. Though Billie Holiday's version is still the most well-known, the English version of the song has been covered by many American artists, including Sarah McLachlan. Although it is impossible to verify every self-inflicted death, there are two men whose lives were definitely ruined by the song. Its writers. Lázló Javór expressed concern about becoming the, quotes, poet of the suicidal, and felt as if he were a murderer just for writing the song, whereas Rezsó Seress actually ended up attempting suicide himself in 1968 when he jumped off of a building. He fortunately survived the fall and was transported to the hospital in an ambulance. But upon discovering his unsuccessful attempt, he ended up choking himself to death with a wire right there on his hospital bed. Seress did not leave a suicide note. Perhaps he ended his life because he, like hundreds of alleged others, was saddened by his signature song. Perhaps he ended his life because he could not bear grieving the losses that defined it. Perhaps he was influenced by all of these factors, or perhaps he was influenced by none of them. Perhaps, as a famous Hungarian orchestra conductor László Marossi claimed, Seress suffered unimaginably and died a sad death, because that is what all gifted artists do.